Hi everyone, I'm Jean-Luc Larivière-Lacombe, and I'm the president of the Indie Game Developer Network. Welcome to the 2025 Indie Groundbreaker Awards. If you're watching this live and you're not already in our Discord party, you're welcome to join us. There's a Discord link in the video's description. I want to point out too that for those of you who want it, you can access subtitles on this video using YouTube's subtitle and closed captioning tool below. So, what is the Indie Game Developer Network? The IGDN is an international volunteer trade organization that supports indie, analog games and the people who make them. We are steadfast in our promotion of diversity, both among its membership and in all facets of gaming. Our members hail from around the globe, from Canada, the United States, to the Philippines, Singapore, Australia, and many more. We encourage and seek out diverse voices to join us, particularly among traditionally underrepresented segments of the larger gaming community. All game creators and professionals, including women, people of color, indigenous groups, LGBTQIA+, queer folk, and those with disabilities are encouraged to apply. We support trans rights. We are formed and operate to help the growth and diversity of an international community of indie game developers, and we will not tolerate bigotry or harassment of any kind. While the Indie Groundbreaker Awards mostly represents role-playing games, the IGDN also represents card games, board games, LARPs, and all other sorts of analog games. And though you will see some of our members being recognized tonight, the Indie Groundbreaker Awards are open to any indie game developer. So, what is an indie game developer anyway? We believe that anyone who is interested in developing gaming products outside of the large, mainstream publishers is an indie game developer. Whether you're printing games at home, or running a small booth at your local gaming convention, or somewhere in between, you're among friends. Since 2016, the Indie Groundbreaker Awards have recognized excellence in indie games. We have the absolute honor to spotlight games that push the boundaries of innovation in promoting diversity and in expanding what it means to be indie. In order to qualify for an Indie Groundbreaker Award, your game has to be an analog game, independently published, complete and available to the public, and released since the last Groundbreakers. Winners of our awards are recognized on our Hall of Fame page, are licensed to use the Indie Groundbreaker Award logo, and are recognized as award recipients. Winners also receive a plaque for their respective game and category, while the winner of Game of the Year is invited to display and sell their book at any convention where the IGDN has a presence. This year, we have 6 categories of awards: Most Innovative, Best Art, Best Graphic Design, Best Rules, Best Settings, and Game of the Year. Lastly, this program would not be possible without a lot of help and support. I want to personally thank this year's participants, to our announcers, and an immense thank you to our panel of judges. This year, they read through 100 games, an incredible feat to say the least.
Hi, everyone.
Speaking
We
of
are the
which,
judges for this
how about
year's
a word
Indie
from our
Groundbreaker
judges?
Awards. My name is Jess Geyer. I'm one half of Bonnie Games, and I design indie TTRPGs. I am also the former president of the IGDN.
Hi, I'm Yitong, a technical game designer of AAA cosmic horror games. In the past 3 years, I have judged several international game design awards. This is my first time judging tabletop games, and it has been a really eye-opening experience for me.
Hi, my name's Lisa Hartman. I am a pro GM in the Chicago area with a few different organizations, mostly Wizard Staffing Co. And I have a real passion for bringing indie games to new players. So this was a real privilege.
Hi, I'm Kyle Mentrell, one of the founding members of online gaming syndicate Downstairs and Lizards, as well as a professional psychotherapist by trade who frequently uses tabletop role-playing games for their social cognitive benefits and have to do a lot of tweaking in order to make that work. So I've never created a game myself, but I am really happy to lend kind of my perspective to this year's judging.
Over the past couple months, we had the great privilege of reading just over 100 games, which was so exciting. Thank you all for letting us have access to these. We also had the great responsibility of scheduling ourselves over the course of probably a month and a half to be disciplined and get through all of these, and then come together and nominate our finalists and our winners. And couldn't ask for a better team.
Thank you to everyone who submitted to the IGDN Indie Groundbreakers Award. Your creativity, passion, and bold ideas truly inspire us. Every game brought something unique, and it's been an honor to experience your work. Keep creating. The future of game design is brighter because of you.
And, we went through a lot of different games, and there was not an easy choice to be made. We are 4 different people with 4 different backgrounds and 4 different perspectives for the games we like and which we prefer. And it took a lot of different conversations, bouncing ideas off of each other to end up with that final list. And while we are really satisfied with the list that we ended up with, there are a handful of things that we do want to talk about. So let's get into honorable mentions. Jess?
I would like to put a spotlight on a game that didn't make our list of nominees. It is Cryptid Creeks by Hatchlings Games. It is a carved from Brindlewood game, and what I really enjoyed about it was that even though the game really wears its inspiration on its sleeve, it still feels like a very unique, fleshed out, really evocative world. It's a cozy horror game where you play river scouts, navigating the river and trying to save your home Clawfoot from a series of curses that are brought forth from trinkets sold by a mysterious evil peddler. It is easy to play, it's super accessible for new and experienced players, and it's a great way to introduce younger players to indie TTRPGs, and that is why Cryptid Creeks is my spotlight.
Well, I'd like to highlight Solo Martial Blues. Solo Martial Blues offer a wonderful single-player experience that feels like stepping into the pages of a novel. The game shines with its carefully crafted characters, each with their own detailed backgrounds and personalities that bring the story to life. What impressed me the most is how the game balances rich storytelling with deep, thoughtful combat. Each battle feels meaningful thanks to the well-designed combat system that gives player plenty of interesting choices. For anyone looking for a solo game that combines strong narrative with engaging gameplay, Solo Martial Blue is a memorable and rewarding journey.
My spotlight is for Soundcheck, a game about being in a band, which is indeed what this game is about. By Misha Grifka-Wander and Evan V. Wickland. I love a game where you can just toss playbooks on a table, kick back with your friends on the couch, and tell a story using those good choices on the sheets. And when you have a playbook called The Dude, where you can kick back and play a bunch of different mini games, where you're all trying to weigh your explosive personalities with all the usual dramas of the creative process, I think it was just fabulously done.
And I would like to highlight a game called Candleberry Jam by Kelsey Jirikils. I am sure I'm saying that incorrectly, and I apologize. Art and layout by Robbie A. Burns. It is a system agnostic campaign that focuses on life in this small town in which there is a golem there. And the characters are very fleshed out. The whole town is rich with material to pull from. And as someone who has grown up with Jewish descent, I was really taken aback and happy to see a very respectful and true to form representation of a golem, which we can find throughout many different fantasy systems, and yet it can be reduced down to here is a monster made of clay for you to defeat. Candleberry Jam really demonstrates the nuance of this in a way that is just rich to run. Highly recommend this game for folks who want to drop any of their characters in any system into this new world. Lots of GM support, very little prep is needed because it's just so fleshed out.
Well, we hope that you enjoy the rest of the awards and that you get to play some of these wonderful indie RPGs in your own home games, because that's what the Indie Groundbreaker Awards are all about. So thank you and enjoy. Bye.
The Most Innovative category recognizes the most innovative and unique game design of the year. In 2023, the winner was The Sticker Game This year's Indie Groundbreaker nominees for Most Innovative are Psychic Trash Detectives by Bridget Winter, game designer, and Eva Erie, illustrator. Bettin' Bullets by James Kerr, writing, design, art. Oh Captain by Leon Barillero and Scott Bullock, designers. Elle Siegel, artist. Sadie Lowry, editor, and Anya Svar, layout. Last Train to Bremen by Carol Assertion, game design, layout, art direction. Connor Fawcett, illustration, layout development, and Weaver Walker, dramaturgy, editing. The Score by Steve D., designer. And the winner is Last Train to Bremen. Last Train to Bremen is a storytelling game of doomed musicians and poor decisions. Perfect for a self-contained one-shot, Last Train uses snappy rules based on Liar's Dice and other push-your-luck dice games to deliver a tale of secrets, tension, backstabbing, and betrayal. Build your band, saddle them with baggage, flee your cursed contract, and reflect together on all the choices you made that led you down this sorry path. Congratulations.
Thank you to the Indie Game Developer Network and the Indie Groundbreakers judging panel for this award. I'd like to take a brief moment to shout out some of the folks who made Last Train to Bremen possible, to my playtesters whose feedback sharpened the story in tone and scope, to Connor Fawcett, whose keen illustrations bring the world of Bremen to life, and to Weaver Walker, my editor and dramaturg, who insisted on uncompromising clarity, care, and excellence every step of the way. I also owe my presence here today, in no small part, to the peers who encouraged me to take risks, who helped me get my foot in the door, who passed around the same $10 metaphorically and often quite literally. As a trans person of color, I wouldn't be here without the people who actively welcomed me onto the scene and made space for me at their tables. Change starts in small places, in games, and in life. So, as we look toward an increasingly precarious future, I want to urge you all to think indie. Find the margins, find your local community, find grassroots organizers, find the people who are experimenting with new ideas that have yet to be uplifted. Find the people who are already doing the work, and make space for them at your table. Thanks again to IGDN, and congrats to all my fellow nominees.
The Best Art category recognizes the best original artwork. In 2023, the winner was Dino Car. This year's Indie Groundbreaker nominees for Best Art are Mask Witches of Forgotten Doggerland by John Hodgson, writer, designer, artist, and Paul Bourne, layout. May You Fish in Interesting Times by Carol Wu, illustration, and W.H. Arthur, game design, writing, layout. Revolt by Jason Price, writing, game design, Juan Okoa, artwork, Kame Holtier, cartography, V. Hendro, layout, graphic design, and Will Yobst, editing. Doom Song by Jack Caesar, game design, Morgan Finley, writing, Chris Caesar, graphic design, Maurice Krebs, and Chris Caesar, art. Forgery by Banana Chan, designer, Alex Ekman-Lon, cover illustration, Ruby Lavin and Matthias Bonici, graphic design. And the winner is May You Fish in Interesting Times. May You Fish in Interesting Times seizes players taking on the role of anthropomorphic birds going on a fishing trip, who also happen to be rebels in a failed revolution that took place in the past. This is a cozy fishing game, but at the same time about broken birds bonding over shared past trauma. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Joyce Zhou. I'm the Diversity Coordinator at IGDN. The role of the Diversity Coordinator is to coordinate and carry out diversity initiatives, and especially the diversity sponsorship. The diversity sponsorship is set up to uplift and promote diverse and marginalized creators. The candidates are then paired with industry mentors who then guide and help them. And congratulations to this year's diversity mentees, and a big thank you to all the mentors.
The Best Graphic Design category recognizes the best original graphic design, layout, and combination of words and images to convey a congruent message or theme. In 2023, the winner was Butter Princess. This year's Indie Groundbreaker nominees for Best Graphic Design are Deadly Weapons by Adira Slattery, game and words, and Fen Slattery, art, layout. Corpborg by Pavu Kitzman, writing, game design, layouts. Carol Pataua, Strega Wolf Vandenberg, Artur Heine, Matsi Pauka, Łukasz Godlewski, art. Kamil Kirpinski, cover art. Ian Servas, editing, proofreading. Vincent Fugère, art, layouts. And Vault Crawl, art and maps. Motel Spooky 9 by Julie Ann Munoz, designer, layout. Nevin Holmes, editor. Sam Fisher, artist. And Jess Kuchensky, cover artist. No Tell Motel by Ken Lowry, design, writing. Sean McGuan, artist. And Kelsey Zwarneman, layout. Triangle Agency by Caleb Zane Hewitt, lead designer. Sean Ireland, designer. Ryan Kingdom, art director. Ben Mansky, Michael Schillingberg, layout artist. Kanesha Bryant, Corvidae, GC Hool, Coda C, and Nathan Rhodes, artists. And the winner is Deadly Weapons. Deadly Weapons is about power, gender, desire, trauma, and hope. It is set in an urban fantasy world very similar to our own, but where underneath the surface, demons prowl and avatars hunt. Deadly Weapons is also a collage piece, made using at least 75% recycled or secondhand physical materials. Congratulations.
Hey there, I'm Fen Slattery.
And I'm Adira Slattery.
And we are the creators
of Deadly Weapons!
Yay! Which, thank you. Whoa, thank you
Yeah.
for selecting us as the best design of the year for the Indie Groundbreakers. Adira here is responsible for all the really cool words and the concept and just overall director of this game, I would say.
And Fen is responsible for the fucking award-winning graphic design.
That's wild. So I have done all kinds of layout design for role-playing games before, but this is the first large project that was all done with physical hand-cut collage, and we wanted to show you real quick what that looked like. So like here, hold them, show them. Whoa. I designed all of these to go specifically with the text, which there's a dummy version stuck to each page. Pulled that off, scanned them, did some light color correction, just just a
soup
smidge,
saw.
a soupçon of color correction, and added text in digitally, so that way it would still be accessible and readable by anybody. And wowie zowie, I think it made it have a really unique look. Which,
Yeah, and the way that everything flows together, and that like the interplay between like the rules and poems that I wrote and like Fenn's art, it's
this is a physical paper clip on one of the pages. Yeah, I really wanted to bring forward the like punk girlhood DIY, I've got a gun and I'll do what I want vibe of the game, which I think really shows in the design.
Yeah.
So we hope that this inspires more designers to get physical with their game creation. And
thank you.
Thank you.
The Best Rules category recognizes the best original rules, mechanics, and clarity. In 2023, the winner was Saltfish and Almanacs. This year's Indie Groundbreaker nominees for Best Rules are Revolt by Jason Price, writing, game design, Juan Okoa, artwork, Kame Holtier, cartography, V. Hendro, layout, graphic design, and Will Yobst, editing. For Small Creatures Such as We, by Anna Blackwell, designer, Shanice Fagan, additional design, Jason Caffo, Josh Clark, Sega McKenzie, and Fiona Ruthven, art. His Majesty the Worm, by Josh McRowell, writer. Last Train to Bremen, by Caro Assertion, game design, layout, art direction, Connor Fawcett, illustration, layout development, and Weaver Walker, dramaturgy, editing. Our Woodland Gods, by Robert Turk, writer, designer, and Melissa Robb, illustrator. And the winner is Revolt. In Revolt, players take on the role of a unique faction, a group of like-minded citizens united by their faction leader and a shared creed. Players must travel the realm, gathering support at the towns, landmarks, and environments where other citizens live and work in order to overthrow the monarch, Mortimus the Toad King. Congratulations.
Hello. First of all, I just wanted to say congratulations to all of the nominees this year. There are so many amazing games across all of the different categories. I'm really honoured that Revolt has won Best Rules this year. This was a real passion project for me that took a few years to finally bring together, so it's amazing to have it recognised with this award. A few quick thank yous. All the judges and organisers this year who continue to highlight so many amazing indie games. My friends and really patient playtesters, Jack, Chris and Craig. And most importantly, all my amazing collaborators on this project who helped bring Revolt to life with their talents. Artwork by Juan Okoa, layout and graphic design by V. Hendro, editing by Will Yobst, and cartography by Kame Holtier. I hope more people get a chance to check out the game, and I won't keep you any longer. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
The Best Settings category recognizes the most evocative, interesting, and unique settings. In 2023, the winner was Gubat Banwa. This year's Indie Groundbreaker nominees for Best Setting are Burger Punk by Caitlin Forche, writer, game designer, and Jeff Martin, illustrator, book design. Viva la Queer Bar by Sandra Dahlhoff, Andrea Rick, writers, game designers, Andrea Rick, writer, essay, bar portraits, Hannah Vandenheuvel, cover illustrator, Andrea Rick, interior art, layout. Letters to Sandra by Kaylee Lowry, co-creator, and Dan Phipps, co-creator. Substratum Protocol by Andy Boyd, writer, designer, Galen Peugeot, illustrator, Eric Lazure, editor, René-Pierre Deshé-Gélina, design consultant. Gutter Punk by John Thompson, designer. And the winner is Viva la Queer Bar. Viva la Queer Bar is a slice of life story game about a queer bar or queer cafe and the team who runs it. It's a game about the pleasures and struggles of being part of a queer community. Whether as a fantasy medieval tavern, a cyberpunk underground club, a real-world gay bar in a historical setting, an intergalactic queer bar on a spaceship, or anything else you can think of, the queer bar lives wherever you want it to. Congratulations.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Rick and I'm the layout artist, translator and publisher of Viva la Queer Bar, a game I've designed together with Sandra Dahlhoff and with wonderful cover art by Hannah van den Heuvel. Sandra and I are thrilled and honored to win this year's Indie Groundbreaker Award for Best Setting with our game. Thank you so much to the IGDN organizers and judges for this award and for supporting and highlighting indie games and creators like us. We also want to thank Alex Roberts because her Descent from the Queen, or SRD, was the mechanical foundation on which we then built Viva la Queer Bar. And speaking of building queer bars, Sandra and I both spent many years organizing non-profit queer bars in different German cities before we met each other online in 2021 and began transforming those experiences into the archive, love letter, and queer bar to go that became this game. And at a time like this, when queer folks, especially women, trans and non-binary people, are fighting against the erasure from public existence in the United States and elsewhere, it seems more important than ever to remember queer spaces as they were, and to imagine how they might become, in distant space, in a world of magic, and in this reality. And that's what Viva la Queer Bar is all about. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm back to announce the Indie Groundbreaker Awards Game of the Year. So, what is it that sets a game apart and worthy of its namesake? To me, it's an amalgamation of all of its elements coming together effortlessly. A perfect balance of form and function. No single element, be it writing, design, or art, overwhelms the other, leaving us with something fun, special, unique, and wanting more. Last year's Game of the Year was Slug Blaster by Mikey Ham. This year's nominations for Game of the Year are Doom Song by Jack Caesar, game design, Morgan Finley, writing, Chris Caesar, graphic design, and Maurice Krebs and Chris Caesar, art. Triangle Agency by Caleb Zane Hewitt, lead design, Sean Ireland, designer, Ryan Kingdom, art director, Ben Mangsky and Michael Schillenberg, layout artists, Kanesha Bryant, Corviday, JC Houle, Coda C, and Nathan Rhodes, artists. His Majesty the Worm by Josh McCrow, writer. Last Train to Bremen by Caro Assertion, game design, layout, art direction, Connor Fawcett, illustration, layout development, and Weaver Walker, dramaturgy, editing. Revolt by Jason Price, writing, game design, Juan Okoa, artwork, Cam Holtier, cartography, V. Hendro, layout, graphic design, and Will Yobst, editing. And the winner is Triangle Agency. Triangle Agency is a tabletop role-playing game in a present-day setting about wielding enormous reality-warping powers, navigating bureaucratic red tape, and juggling your everyday responsibilities. Player characters work at the Triangle Agency, an international corporation with influence in every industry. As field agents, players investigate and capture supernatural anomalies that threaten the lives and comfort of normal citizens. Designed for campaigns of 10 to 30 missions or high-energy one-shots, This brand new game system creates seamless transition between chilling horror, wacky comedy, and the emotional truth of trying to survive in a world with no right answers. Triangle Agency was also nominated for Best Graphic Design, filled with a variety of art styles that captures the game's blend of corporate satire and supernatural intrigue. And we aren't the only ones who think that Triangle Agency is a great game. It was featured in a list of top new TTRPGs of 2024 by Polygon, next to powerhouses such as Shadow Dark and Aether Reich, and also won the 2025 Golden Fez Award for Best Design in Production.
Hello, and thank you so much, IGDN. I'm Caleb Zane Hewitt, the lead designer of Triangle Agency, and it is an incredible honor to be receiving this award for Game of the Year on behalf of our entire team. In particular, I'd like to mention Sean Ireland, my co-creator on the game, Ben Mansky, our incredible layout artist, Ryan Kingdom, our art director and the illustrator of the game's cover, and Michael Schillingberg, a brilliant designer who elevates everything he touches and who also happens to be my husband, who I love. Each of these people are patient, talented collaborators and creators who deserve your attention on their work in the Triangle Agency world and beyond. I would also like to thank our artists, Kanesha Bryant, Codicy, Corvidae, GC Hool, and Nathan Rhodes, all of whom contributed their work to our core book, and the huge, amazing team of writers, artists, layout designers, and editors who added their time, energy, and expertise to our book of missions, The Vault. Triangle Agency is a game about making choices when you are told that there are no more choices for you to make. We hope that players will see the joy and fear and struggle their characters go through and will find energy that they can bring with them into the real world. Our story, the story of us as people and on this planet, is not already decided. Every single day, you can decide to protect the vulnerable, to embrace the complicated, and to reject the cruel. If you like our game, we hope that you will play as long as you need to, and then the moment that you're able, fight for a better world, for everyone. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again on Monday.
Thank you everyone for joining us for the 2024 Indie Groundbreaker Awards. We look forward to seeing what each of you brings to the table in 2025. Until then, take care.